Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chuchu Reviews, the show where I take 4 random, unrelated albums, and I throw them in a blender, and then I review them, I rate them, and I rank them. Simplicity achieved. 3 of the choices this week were pulled from the comments, so if you have an album you'd like to see featured, why not drop a suggestion, and who knows, you might just get lucky. So let's introduce this week's combatants in alphabetical order. Firstly, we have The Hour of the Bewilderbeast by Badly Drawn Boy from the year of 2000, which was nominated by Steve. Next we have Noah Forever by Noah from 2023, which was nominated by TailTube. Then we have Loving You Is Killing Me by My Life Story from 2024, which is my own personal pick for inclusion. And lastly we have Reading, Writing and Arithmetic by The Sundays from 1990, which was nominated by Gibbon56. So, now the battle lines have been drawn, let's be complete rankers and rank up a storm. This is Chuchu Reviews. Coming in last place this week we have The Hour of the Bewilderbeast from the year of 2000, which was a debut LP by Badly Drawn Boy. And this record made quite a big impact in the UK upon release, gaining lots of critical acclaim, winning the Mercury Prize and selling almost 500,000 copies. This really was a universally beloved record at the time. And that made me reticent to review it because I bought this on CD when it came out and I did not like it at all back then. But that was a long time ago and my tastes have certainly evolved. So, let's do this, Steve. Let's roll up the sleeves, put the gloves on and finally clear this one off the board. And what we have here is a sprawling LP of indie folk, baroque pop and mild experimentation that clocks in at a gargantuan 63 minutes in length. It kinda sounds a bit like Elliott Smith, if you somehow sheared away the layers of misery, as Badly Drawn Boy definitely has a lighter soul than poor old Elliott. On paper that all sounds jolly spiffing, but for me, there's just something missing. It's difficult to put my finger on what it is. Maybe it's the way that I just don't like his voice or his way of singing. I mean, the guy only seems to move between 3 notes most of the time. Or maybe it's the compositions that mostly feel half-baked to my ears. For me, this album generally feels like it's running on about 40% power. I keep waiting for the tracks to lift off in some way, but they rarely ever do. That's not to say that the songs are awful. In point of fact, the majority of them are innocuously pleasant. But there also aren't many tracks on this that I genuinely, legitimately enjoy. We'll get to those that I do shortly, but first, let's get nasty and make Badly Drawn Boy my badly drawn bitch. Firstly, there are too many folky tunes that are stuck in second gear and only feel half-formed. Opener The Shining and Camping Next to Water are good examples of this. They feel like they might go somewhere or do something, but ultimately they just go belly up. Worse than those though are the moments where he tries to rock out. Tracks like Everybody's Stalking, Another Pearl, or the ugly effects smothered this song don't have enough in the way of hooks, vocal melodies, or, well, any point to exist basically. But at the bottom of the pit is the back-to-back duo of the utterly pointless experimental pap of body rap and the jumbled mess of a song that is Once Around the Block. The way that the rolling composition never sits still is really unsatisfying. The tune lacks any kind of proper melody and kind of makes me feel a bit queasy with its relentless undulating guitars. So, now we've given Badly Drawn Boy some badly damaged balls, let's put on our Positive Pete hats and get to some things that I do like about this. Stone on the Water is half baroque instrumental, half Nick Drake style ominous folk tune. It's pretty good. The penultimate track, Say It Again, has a nice Britpop glide to it, with its miserable sounding guitar pop recalling the Man Who era Travis. While the instrumental, Bewilderbeast, has some nice touches of actual melody for a change. But the best sequence on the LP is the back-to-back trio of the ethereal sounding rocker, Cause a Rock Slide, the beautifully dovetailing ballad, Pissing in the Wind, which is easily the best and most direct song on the album, and the following catharsis-filled pastoral-tinged instrumental, Blistered Heart. But yeah, ultimately a fistful of good tracks just isn't enough to quell that sense of insufferable boredom that I feel whenever I spin this record. So I guess Badly Drawn Boy should probably change his name to Boringly Dull Boy. Sorry Steve, I wish I liked this better. I wish I could frolic in the warm surf with the masses on this one. But here I am, beached on this lonely sandbank, all by myself. I didn't like this record back then, and I still don't like it now. 2 stars.
It goes round, it goes round, it goes round. It goes round, it goes round.
Next up we have Loving You Is Killing Me by My Life Story, which is the band's 5th LP and was released just a few weeks ago in February 2024. And yeah, My Life who? Well, My Life Story were an old Britpop band from the mid-90s, led by the charismatic frontman Jake Shillingford. The act was notable for using a lot of orchestral instrumentation in their music, which often drew comparisons with Neil Hannon's The Divine Comedy. After releasing 3 albums, the band went down with the Britpop ship and the group split up in the early 2000s. However, one of those 3 albums, 1997's The Golden Mile, was an absolute banger and carved out an underground cult following for itself which still persists today. After floundering around under the guise of the electropop act Exile Inside and putting out an acoustic solo record, Jake Shillingford finally revived the My Life Story name in the late 2010s and has since released 2 more albums under that moniker, including this one, Loving You Is Killing Me. And what we have here is a short, sharp 36-minute amalgam of 1980s new wave and vacuously catchy 1990s Britpop. It's not revelatory or groundbreaking or emotionally deep, but it is immediately likeable and crammed full of instant pop hooks and memorable sing-along choruses that conspire to make your day just a little bit better. Highlights on a fun, lightweight and robust pop album includes the opening, Running Out of Heartbeats, which kicks the record off with a great blast of 80s inflected guitar pop, with Shillingford leaning into typically Morrissey-esque vocal lines, which is something that's always hard for me to disapprove of. I'm a God is an exercise in straight-fire catchy pop, and it's hard not to enjoy Jake's amusing lyrics that deliberate on what kind of God he is. I'm a godlike genius award of a god. I'm a Hollywood god. I'm a washed-up chip shop TikTok god. Tits and Attitude has a sinister and moody new wave pulse to it that feels appealingly nostalgic. Num 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 is great as it bursts into a ridiculously catchy and strident chorus that flings your ass straight back to the heyday of Britpop. While closer, Wasted makes for one last hurrah, with an epic squalling ballad that captures an air of stadium anthemia. And as for the negatives, well, a few of the late album cuts such as the dirgy B-side girl or the throwaway Britpop bluster of Identity Crisis do feel a few steps down on the quality pecking order. But they're negligible, merely relegated to the status of harmlessly pleasant yet ignorable fluff. So basically there's nothing really worth complaining about here. So yeah, whilst never going to set the world alight, Loving You Is Killing Me by My Life Story is a very enjoyable pop record that feels pleasingly familiar and nostalgic without ever slipping into boredom or parody. 4 stars.
I am the wish for something better to do. And I am the head over my heels in love with you. I'm a god, a political god, a wholesome TV reality god. I'm a god, a pagan god, a godlike genius award of a god. I'm a god, a Hollywood god, a washed up chip shop TikTok god. Nothing else.
Coming in next we have Noah Forever by Noah from 2023, which was the band's 5th LP. And Noah are an indie electronica act that often dabble with jazz and funk elements, while self-financing and self-releasing their own records. And as a member of a duo that does exactly the same thing, I have a lot of respect for what Noah have achieved and the kind of avant-garde music that they make. It's a type of truly unique music that can only be made when completely free from the music industry and its commercial and artistic expectations. Noah are just out there, man, like floating in a sea of pure artistic freedom, ripping up the musical rulebook and basically not giving a fuck. And this particular album, Noah Forever, is really cool and strikingly original. And it's kind of hard to explain, it's sort of like an old early 90s trance LP, but shot through with a serrated experimental quality that relies on meticulously sequenced beats, loops and synths, while also regularly going off on mesmerizing jazz tangents. The jazzy piano breaks that often occur on this record are absolutely fantastic. Mwah! Chef's kiss for each and every one of them, they rule. The LP is given its backbone and connective tissue, however, by the lovely twee female vocals of Genevieve Attardi. Her wispy lightness brings a fragile humanity to the mechanical maelstrom that surrounds her. And as for individual highlights, well, I'm not sure it's really that kind of record. I think it's more about the overall pulsating nature, rather than the individual pieces. Still, I'm the President impresses with its 90s video game synths, beats and twee yet foul-mouthed vocals. You also have to love that jazzy piano break. That chef's kiss I gave was definitely not in vain. It's All Nothing Until It's Everything is rad with its attention-grabbing explosive beats, soaring chorus and another nutsoid piano excursion. Same smile, different face is a string-laden folk tune that has an irresistibly delicate lilt to it. Do Hot Girls Like Chords is gnarly with its fat rolling synth bass and badass nasty guitar licks. While Crash the Car is a velveteen slice of smooth R&B with a great jazzy trumpet solo. Although the line, "Crash the car through the stars," makes me think that they should probably tighten the security at the next year's Oscar ceremony, lest the likes of Jared Leto or Ezra Miller get killed walking the red carpet. Wait, hold on a second. Actually, maybe they should lower security. But yeah, this LP by Noah is fantastic and thrilling and unique. Colour me impressed. 4.5 stars. So, coming first place this week and taking home the Chuchu Review's gold medal, we have Reading, Writing and Arithmetic by the Sundays from 1990, which was the band's debut LP. And the Sundays were part of that whole post-Smiths jangle boom of the early 90s, where it seemed like anyone with a guitar was focused on playing gentle arpeggiated melodies and twee-spangly riffs. As much as I love the Smiths and jangle pop in general, that whole scene was a bit of a swampy mire that produced a lot of really bland sound-alike music. But although the Sundays fit right into the centre of that rather dull movement, they still managed to knock out a home run with this LP. Its delicate melodies, gentle catchiness and Harriet Wheeler's beautiful voice and heightened lyrics making the band stand out from the crowd as something special. Highlights from a jangly hit includes Here's Where the Story Ends, which is an iconic entry into the jangle pop pantheon. Its wispy beauty and unforgettable catchiness handcrafted to light up the radio waves. The band's debut single, Can't Be Sure, sees Harriet Wheeler's voice thrusting into the stratosphere, even as her lyrics cause me to chuckle. England, my country, the home of the free, such miserable weather. Hideous Towns is immediately catchy with its billowing jangle reels, as Harriet confesses, "Hideous towns make me throw up. Best steer clear of Portsmouth in that case, love. That town will make you throw up and shit your pants." You're Not the Only One is gorgeous with its languorous dream pop gently soothing away your stresses. While I Kicked a Boy sees the whole Smiths comparison thing start to make sense, with Wheeler really going hard on the Morrissey vocal emulation. I'm not sure I could imagine Morrissey kicking a boy though. I don't know, maybe he'd be great at it. A regular Shawn Michaels dishing out sweet chin music to everyone. Better watch out, Mike Joyce. So yeah, this is a really great jangle record, and I'd be remiss if I didn't comment on the overall relaxing vibe and dreamlike texture that the LP conjures up and maintains throughout its runtime. If you like jangle pop and you haven't gotten around to this, it comes highly recommended, 4.5 stars. And that's another episode of Chuchu Reviews in the bag. Of course, I know that you probably rank these records differently, so why not sound off in the comments and tell me which one would win for you, and maybe drop a nomination while you're there. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and all that other kind of YouTube jazz. Make sure to take care of yourself, but most importantly, just keep on ranking.